Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about the Dockerfile. Do you remember the image that we had here? We have here this kind of drawing that shows you how containers are created. Remember that we have an image which contains all of the information, which is kind of a template or a snapshot that will be instantiated as a container. So here we have the image which contains all the information, and then we just create a container or a bunch of containers based on this image, which is kind of a snapshot thing. So now how do we build images? That's the question. And then here's where the Docker file comes in. A Docker file is nothing else but a plain text file where you define the instructions to create your image. So typically, a Docker file starts with from, which is an instruction that says, okay, I want this guy as an operating system, as the operating system layer. So this instruction could be this one that gives you the binaries that are going to be used as a base for the operating system. About this scratch image, this is important for you to know, but you're not going to be using it because this is a default thing that happens in the background. So you don't really need to care about this. Okay, great. Then second, you have this run instruction, which based on the operating system that you chose, it will give you the ability to install packages. So say that you choose Ubuntu here, then you say apt-get. If you choose a Red Hat based like CentOS, you say yum install whatever. Or if you choose Alpine, then you would say apk add something. But in this case, where we are picking up CentOS, and then we'll run the HTTPD installation, which is the Apache installation. And this could be this layer, which is the layer that sits on top of this CentOS image and installs the application or the libraries that your application needs to run. And finally, well, you could do more things, install more things if you wanted. You could copy things from outside to the image and do everything that your application needs to run. But no worries, this is just a tiny introduction for a Dockerfile. We will see this in the future, but I want you to see how simple it can be. Right? So here we have the operating system as a base, then we have the libraries that the application needs, and here normally the CMD means the command that will be triggered once the container gets created. So in this case, what we're doing is that we're basically just starting the Apache service in the foreground using this line. So we just say, okay, please start from CentOS, then install these libraries. It could be all the libraries that you want. And finally, please use this command to start the service, because if you install a service, of course you need to start it. You need to start the process. You need to start the Apache process for you to be able to go to the browser and see your website, right? So this is the most basic notion of a Docker file. It's just a text file that allows you to define the instructions that should be run for your image to be created. No worries about the Docker file. We will be talking about this in the future in depth. But for now, I just want you to know how images are created. And they are basically created using the Docker file. So this is it for this video. I'll see you in the next lesson.